Right then, Premier League predictions for match week 2. Leeds United are back, baby. We've got to win. I did predict that we'd win, but I said 2-1. We won 1-0, but that's fine. Let's see if I can get some more predictions correct this week. I have uploaded a YouTube short, by the way, on reacting to how I did. I'm going to start doing that for the Premier League ones, and if it catches on, I'll start doing it for the Championship ones as well. But let's get straight into this one. Friday night football. We've got an 8 o'clock kickoff between West Ham United and Chelsea. Another London derby for Chelsea, this time being West Ham, who had a poor start to Sunderland. They conceded 3 and didn't score any. Chelsea didn't score any but didn't concede any either. This has to be a win for Chelsea. There's no other result that you can take from this if you're a Chelsea fan or Enzo Maresca yourself. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Chelsea defeat. 3-0 Chelsea win, not defeat. West Ham conceding 6 and scoring none. Not a good start for them. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say João Pedro to score at least 1. Cole Palmer to be involved somewhere. And I don't know who else to say they'll have a good game, to be honest. But we're going to move on to Saturday now. We've got Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur. You've got 2 winners in the last game week. A 3-0 winner and a 4-0 winner. Manchester City's first home game against Spurs. A side that they do struggle with sometimes, but this is Thomas Frank Spurs, not Ange Postecoglou Spurs, so it could be different. I am going to go with the Man City win. I do think they were really convincing against Wolves, and that'll translate to a good season overall, no matter who they face. Tottenham, though, I don't think they're going to go down without a fight. I will predict 2-1. It's going to be a tight one, I think. We'll probably see a Haaland goal, maybe a Richarlison goal again. Maybe not to the levels that he were doing against Burnley, but we'll see. But I think 2-1's a fair result. But then again, I did lowball City last week, and they proved me wrong. So maybe a potential 3-1, but I'm going to stick with 2-1, and we'll see how they get on. Moving on to Bournemouth and Wolves, we have 2 sides here who did lose their opening matches. One was more convincing than the other, but I will say that Wolves did look good against City until they did concede. So that's something to take into account. But then you've got Bournemouth, who played well against Liverpool, scored 2 goals with Semenyo. I think Bournemouth might take this one because they've got the home advantage, and Wolves, I suppose they still need to get those new signings gelled in a bit more. So I'm going to say Bournemouth take this one. I don't think it's going to be too amazing though. I might go with a 3-1. What I was debating to give City, but I think Bournemouth will win 3-1. You've got Semenyo playing, who was brilliant against Liverpool. So against a side like Wolves, no offence to Wolves, but they're not a Liverpool either. So I think Semenyo will have time to shine there and show what he's about. Brentford and Aston Villa, another 3 o'clock kickoff. Brentford losing to Nottingham Forest 3-1, scoring a penalty, and Aston Villa scoring nothing against Newcastle, but they do pick up a point from that. I think Aston Villa have what it takes to beat Brentford. This is a Brentford that doesn't look too brilliant. They got dominated by Forest in that first half. Second half wasn't too bad, but against a side like Aston Villa, I just don't see it happening. Ollie Watkins has to score. I'm going to go with a 3-0 result. So I expect Brentford to lose to concede 3 again, sorry. And I don't expect them to pick up a goal this time. Championship promotion sides, Burnley and Sunderland, face each other. This is at Turf Moor. I'm going to go with the Sunderland win. I'm just going to straight up say Sunderland will win this. They look so good against West Ham. And Burnley, whilst they had their moments, I just don't think they were very convincing against Spurs. Yes, this is Sunderland, not Spurs, but I think Sunderland and their new signings have what it takes to beat this Burnley side managed by Scott Parker, who is just boring. I don't know what else to say. It's just boring to watch Scott Parker ball. I'm going to go with Sunderland, though, only managing a 1-0 here. I think that the defensive Burnley side will kick in. If they do 5 at the back again, I don't really see Sunderland working through it too much, but they might to get that 1. I don't think it's going to be Dan Ballard this time, though. Fair play to him, though, against West Ham. The problem with West Ham is their defence just crumbled at a certain point in the match, and that's when Sunderland just managed to capitalise. The West Ham defence was atrocious, and that's why I think Chelsea are going to run away with it. But that's why I think Sunderland will struggle against Burnley. They are a more defensive-minded team, which makes me think it'll just be the 1 goal for Sunderland to win. And last but not least, for Saturday, it's a 5:30 kick-off at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal versus Leeds United. Am I going to be biased and say Leeds are going to win? No. But what I will say is that against Everton, there was some really, really strong possession-based football going through the midfield. You've got Stack, you've got Tanaka, you've got Ampadu controlling the game at what seemed like 90% of the time. And then you've got Rodon and Strauch as well, who can also come a bit further up. It's like a 5 midfield, and then you've got your fullbacks going forward, Goodmanson and Bogle, constantly just attacking, which forces the wingers back, which means Saka, again, might have a bit of a poorer game, but I don't think he'll be too bad. I think he might be able to manage Jadon Bogle. This is not a wash Jack Grealish or Iliman Ndiaye swapping between sides. This is Bukayo Saka. I think he has what it takes to take on Bogle. Bogle might have to be more defensive-minded in this game, which will create a bit of a disadvantage for the way Farke likes to play. Also, the strike force at Leeds didn't look too convincing, so I am going to give Arsenal a win. But I'm not going to go too high. I'm going to say this is a 2-0 win to Arsenal. It pains me to say that Leeds are going to lose this, but I can't argue with that, really, can I? We've got 3 points. If we go down with 3 points, no, I won't accept that, but it's a good start. Arsenal might be a little bit intimidated. I do think they played poorly against Manchester United, but this is Leeds, not Manchester United, where they had Cunha and Mbuemo and Fernandes and all them running around. Gyökeres, though, I don't know if he will score. I'm going to go with Saka to score one. I don't know, maybe another set-piece goal somewhere. But Lucas Perry looks decent, so I think he might be able to be a decent shot stopper against this Arsenal side. But they love the set pieces, which does concern me. I think Leeds might be a bit weak to that, but we'll see. Sunday, we've got Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest on at 2 o'clock. The other game is at 2 o'clock, and then the last one is 4:30. So Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. Crystal Palace, they drew to Chelsea, and Nottingham Forest beat Brentford, obviously. I think Nottingham Forest do look threatening, but Crystal Palace, they are a good side. It's just Eze up in the air at the minute, Gueye up in the air at the minute. I would edge a Nottingham Forest win here. Chris Wood looked really good. You've still got Gibbs White there as well. Solid defence as well. 2 as well there for you, Forest. I'm going to go with a 2-1 result here for Forest away. I think they'll be good. They'll just have what it takes to beat Crystal Palace, but it might be a little bit shaky. Everton and Brighton. First time we get to see Everton's new stadium in the Premier League. Well, at all, really. I mean, obviously there were the pre-season, but this is the first competitive game at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. We will be there. Everton look poor against Leeds, though, I must admit. I don't know if this is David Moyes' way of proving a point to the board, saying, give me money, I need players, and he's put out a poor side. And I don't know if that was overcomplicating the situation, though. I will say the defensive choices were a bit questionable. Maybe he thought we'll go a bit weaker for Leeds and go stronger against Brighton, maybe, I don't know. But Brighton are a good side. They did get a 1-1 result against Fulham. But I do think Everton will score a goal here. I'm not sure about the win, though. I might go with a 1-1 draw here. I think David Moyes might be able to hold back the Brighton team with his tactical decisions, especially. It's not really a home game. It is, but it's not, because it's a new stadium. It's more of a neutral ground, realistically, at the minute. Obviously, there will be more Everton fans there. Maybe that might help them, but I am going to go 1-1. I'm just erring with caution with this one. I'm not too sure after the performances that were given last game week. Fulham and Manchester United, 4:30. I've got to go with the Manchester United win, I think. I think Cunha and Mbuemo looked absolutely brilliant against Arsenal. It's really unlucky that they didn't get anything from that game, if I'm completely honest. I do think Manchester United will pick something up here. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Manchester United away. This is not the Manchester United we saw last season, and that was made abundantly clear. The only issue is still the defence and the goalkeeper. But going forward, they are a much better side, and I think that might be able to carry them to some results like this one here. Fingers crossed for them, even though I hate them, but I can't argue with that attack that they've got at the minute. And last but not least, we have Newcastle United with no Isak. That situation still kicking off massively. And we've got Liverpool, obviously the title contenders. They are looking to prove that they can do it back to back. They look strong against Bournemouth. They did let two slip though. It was defensive mistakes, I think, personally, from Canate. But Van Dijk didn't look the best, to be honest. And obviously the fullbacks both coming off just before the 60th minute. I think that did kind of affect the game in a negative way. But Frimpong hopefully is okay. Apparently he felt his hamstring and that's why he came off. But hopefully he's fine, he plays. And obviously Kirkes as well. Looked alright. A few more minutes for them and they might be able to see this one against a Newcastle team that dominated the ball against Aston Villa but couldn't put it in the back of the net because they have no striking power. It's very much a Leeds United situation at Newcastle right now. I'm going to say 2-0 to Liverpool. Maybe another goal from Ekitike. Hopefully Wirtz can get involved this week. I know that he's got what it takes. He just needs to adapt and it'll come eventually. But this is a good game for it to come against a side that isn't really that threatening in front of goal. Played Gordon as striker. He's a good player, but he's not a striker at all. And that was blatantly obvious, I think, against Villa. I do think that they will probably hold Liverpool from scoring a lot, but they won't do anything themselves. So 2-0 for me, for Liverpool. And that will see out this week. And that's the end of the week. So if you enjoyed, please do leave a like. Comment down below what you think will happen this week. Let's see if you can get more right than me. And also don't forget to subscribe. It's free and it really helps me out. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.